Now what we'd like to work with is the submenu and creating links to content within our timeline for the submenu. So we really need to go to our timeline. So I'm going to click on Monitor so I can see what's going on with that particular timeline. I might go ahead and make that 75 or even 50% so I can see exactly what's happening there. You'll see I can move forward on my timeline and it will show what's going on. So you can see that's kind of the end of that first thing. And there's where it starts over. And we can get in close and then start to use the arrow keys to go one frame at a time. Once I'm in the new section, I'm going to click on Add Chapter. You can double click on that and then name the chapter if you like. I'll call it Take 2. This very first one be called Take 1. Let's see, do I need any more? Just because we can, let's create one more. So we have 3. I can double click on it, name that Take 3. We're not going to give any end actions to these right now. What happens is if you see that they have end actions set, the end actions will be going back to where they were called from. So I'm going to go to this submenu, click on the first item, and I'm going to link it to the first scene of that particular timeline. Click on scene B, click on link, drag it to the second one. Scene 3, now I could go ahead and use pick whip, but we do have a menu item, so we should check that out. Click on this, you'll see that I can find the timeline, and then I can find out which label to go to on that timeline, or which marker to go to on that timeline. So it's very easy to create links to scenes within a larger movie. Now, since we're linking directly to those particular pieces on the timeline, we could have, once again, if you go to each individual item, you have an end action. They're not set right now. What that would do, if we had an end action, it would say that if you were coming in from a point that is directly on that, if you were targeting that particular marker, such as we did using these scenes, when it got to the next marker, it would run the end action. So in that case, if I said I wanted to play these scenes individually, not as, a long series, then I could make it so that when I click on scene B, the end action for number 2 would be to go back to scene B. So we want to test that out and see if that actually works. Let's see, the last thing, that's linked to the main menu. My main menu is linked to the scenes. Oh, let's make sure that is linked to scenes. That is linked to scenes. We've got links back to it. We could check this in the flowchart just to make sure. So here's what we've got in our flowchart right now. We've got our project. We've got our main menu. It links to that. Those link to 3 different scenes. Or 4, actually, I guess. And then that links to the movie itself. Last thing that we want to do is test this to see if it works. So you can click on Project Preview and try out your interactivity. Go to Scenes, and then you'll see that we have our different scenes here. You can click on one of the scenes. It should play that particular scene. And when it's done, it might loop back. I'm going to pause real quick. So it did indeed go back to where we told